I've got four really simple principles when it comes to applying artificial intelligence. Number one, can it widen access? Can this new tool enable people who previously couldn't do the job to do the job? So if you look at PR, comms, marketing, etc., there's lots of people in these professions because they think they're good at writing or they had a good experience of writing at school. And so there are lots of people excluded from the profession because there's a barrier to entry. Maybe they are dyslexic. Maybe they don't like writing. Maybe they were made to feel at school that they weren't good at writing. So there's swathes of the population not looking at our profession as an option because they've got some sort of barrier to entry. So apply the same thinking to farming, 100 years ago, where once the farmer hit a particular age or suffered a particular injury, they couldn't do the work anymore until the machinery came in, the technology, the tools came in, automation came in and changed the job and widened access, or at the very least it kept people in the profession who previously would have been done. They would have had to give up, they'd have to leave. So can this new technology widen access? Can it enable people to do this job where previously they wouldn't have considered it? Or can it take my content, take my message to an audience that previously wouldn't have been able to understand it? The message wouldn't have got to them. And I think with any new technology, for me, that has to be the number one driver. It's got to be the first thing we look at. Never mind fanning around with fancy videos and things like that and creating content. Let's just ask ourselves, can this new technology widen access to the job? Because if we've got a new talent pool and new ideas and new people coming in, that's going to be fantastic. So for me, that is always the starting point. Number two, before I'm even looking at creating anything new, the second principle for me with any technology, certainly AI, can it reduce or eliminate duplication? If I've already done a piece of work, if I've already written something, if I've already talked about something, why am I having to do it again? If I've entered data over here, why am I entering it again in a slightly different form over here? We've got to look at reducing or eliminating duplication, and it should be able to do that. And we see some examples, things like the little AI assistant that will sit on a Teams call, and if you and I are having a conversation, then it can write up the minutes, or it can write up a press release. We've already talked about it. Why am I starting again from a blank page? So there's a clear use for the AI in reducing duplication. Third thing, interrogative insight. Now, this is where it can save you tiny little pockets of time, but lots of them, and actually make your life a bit more hassle-free. So a very quick example, let's say I'm going to Inverness to meet a client on Friday, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to get there for whatever reason, and maybe I'm going to drive, and I'm trying to remember, where did I park the car the last time I was in Inverness? I can't remember the client that I saw. I can't remember the date. I could go trawling through my Google Calendar, but who's got time for that? So the beauty of these large language model AI systems is that you can talk to them and interrogate them pretty much just the way I'm talking to you. So I should be able to ask it simply, where did I park the last time I was in Inverness? My phone knows that. Google Maps knows that. Now, there's probably advanced Google Maps users that know that you can go into the history and into the settings and search for stuff. I don't know that. I'm not looking it up. I don't have time. There's a clear use for AI to be able to assist me. Where was I the day the Queen died? I shouldn't need to look up the date. It knows the date. It's already in Google. So I should be able to ask it simple questions like that and gather that information very quickly. And the fourth use of, again, any technology, but certainly in terms of AI, is analysis and feedback. So if I don't have a second pair of eyes, if I don't have someone that can help me and give me their opinion, then, here's this piece of work I've done. Tell me what you think of this. How could I do this differently? Is there anything I'm missing? And using it as an assistant and getting me into analyzing my work, critiquing my work, and professional development. Here's my coverage report of all my press releases. Which day of the week is the best day for me to send a press release? Which journalist has given me the most coverage? What's the most used word in my press release headlines? AI is really good for going and pulling out all that information and giving it to me. And yes, there's software that will do it. There's dashboards that maybe cost thousands of pounds. But if I can gather that data on an Excel spreadsheet, I should be able to give it to, basically just giving it to my computer and ask it to run searches and tests. And the beauty of it all now, of course, is I don't need to be devising formulas or even complex search queries. I can use natural language to get that information. So those are my 4 principles with AI, and you'll notice that I haven't created any new content. I see so many examples of, stilted looking videos, or here's something that, well, that technologically that's quite impressive, but when I compare it with what a human would do, it's just not the same. So yes, play around and dabble with generative AI, but there's my 4 principles for AI and any technology. Can it widen access to the profession? Can it reduce or eliminate duplication? Can it provide me interrogative insight in terms of searching and asking it questions, and analysis and feedback of work that I've already produced?